I'm standing here with another great Miramichier who was kind enough to let me into this beautiful... How old is this church, Eric? Do we know the year of this? Look at the work on the ceiling up here. I saw this earlier this year for the first time in like 40 or something years, and I thought it would be a good idea to just come and show. This is the Knox 1904, so we're talking 120 years. Is the ceiling original? It's all original. It's such a beautiful, the woodworking up there is so beautiful. I'm a wood guy, and this church here has an organ. Look at that weapon right there, folks. I wish more ceilings were made out of wood. So what's the black one's name?
Oreo.
Oreo and?
Snowball.
Snowball. Oh, right on. Hi, guys. Really cool. You got some swings in here? Are those for yourself?
No. Those are for the chickens.
Oh, the chickens. Where are your chickens?
They're gone.
Hi.
There's 2 chickens left in the other thing.
Those look delicious. What's this one's name?
Rascal.
Rascal?
Yeah.
Hey, Rascal. And what do you got in here?
The other duck is Buttercup.
Buttercup. And do you name your roosters?
The
and
white
chickens?
one is Angel. The other colored one is Chocolate.
Oh. Cool. And it's your job to maintain these animals.
Yeah.
And what do you gotta do? You feed them water, let them outside.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Play with them.
Play with them.
Take them for walks.
Give them some love.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. That used to be a backstop. When I was a kid, this was a ball field, folks. When I was a kid, this was a ball field. When I was a kid, this was a ball field. The garden song. It's opened up to the garden song.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that,
Who owns
though.
this beautiful axe right here? Look at those dexterous hands. None other than the legendary Miramichi, Mr. Bob McCollum. Bob, I appreciate when I come over here a few weeks ago, and we had your Miramichi life song. It sounded so great. I got lots of comments. And so I called Bob up again today and I said, let's come over. Our project's coming to an end, Roger and I thought it'd be great to have you on here again. So what song were you thinking of giving us here?
Well, I was thinking the song called, it's an Irish song written by Johnny Cash, and the name escapes me now, but I hope I can sing. I haven't sung it for a while, but it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite songs. And if you want to just play her right now, or yeah, let's give her right now, and if you don't like it, we'll do her again.
No problem. I close my eyes and picture the emerald of the sea, from the fishing boats at Dingle to the shores of Fillory. I miss the river Shannon and the folks at Skibberee, the moorlands and the midlands, and the 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. And most of all, I miss her lips as soft as eiderdown. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, the bees of Chicago and the 40 shades of green. I love to go out walking at Dublin's Journey Surge. I love to watch the farmers drain the bog and spit a turd, to see again the thatchings of the straw the women glean. I walk from Cork to Larne to see the 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. Most of all, I miss her lips as soft as eider brown. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, with the breeze as sweet as Shalimar and the 40 shades of green. With the breeze as sweet as Shalimar and the 40 shades of green.
Oh, that sounded perfect, Bob. That's like you say, just like riding a bicycle. That was a great tune, and you know what? I came across that song on another Miramichi album called "Sons of the River." Clarence Cummel and them, they did that. Charlie Steinmetz. That's on their album, and that was a beautiful version, Bob. And you got such a powerful, beautiful singing voice. So who did you used to play with? Like, what's a little background of your musical journey there? When did you start playing? Who were your players?
I bought a guitar when I was 22 years old.
Oh,
I
yeah?
played before that.
Yeah.
And I learned a few songs and got I'm a 3-chord guy.
Yeah.
And I just got a little more confidence as I rolled along. And finally I played one Sunday night over at the Wing. They had a little get together there with a guy from Fredericton playing, and I played about 5 or 10 songs on when he took his break.
Oh yeah.
And from then I got a few gigs, and I was playing by myself and no, I don't play with myself. I play by myself. I don't know if you can use that or not.
We're not editing it out. Like if Mary Ellen gets mad at you for saying that, that's between you guys.
Anyway, I was doing a few gigs by myself and benefits and stuff, money makers for creating for money for people that needed it.
Yes.
And I played one night for a seniors convention over in Chatham,
Yeah.
and it was a last minute deal. I got a call at 6 o'clock. Could you come right over? One of our entertainers is not going to make it, so I went over. And who was on before me but Walter McDonald
Yeah.
and I forget who was with him, but anyway, I was on right after them, and I did 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
First 2 songs I did by myself, and then the third song was an Elvis tune. I forget just which one.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden there was a bass player behind me and another lead guitar player. George Cummo was the lead guitar player.
Yeah.
They stepped out on the stage. Their equipment was still there, so they backed me up on 2 or 3 more songs.
Oh wow! So
And
that's a
I had
match
a
made in
ball. I
heaven.
just thought I died and went to heaven.
Yeah.
But anyway, after that, Walter and I went over to the wing for a beer.
Yeah.
And Walter said, "I like the way you play." He said, "I'll tell you what." He said, "I'd like to play bass with you."
Oh, right on.
I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I said, well, Walter, I'm playing here Friday night." This was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I said, "I'm playing here Friday night from 9 till midnight." And I said, "I'd love to have you come along, but I said, we haven't practiced anything." He said, "Bob, as long as I can see your guitar,
I can play.
I can play
Right
bass
on.
for you." And he wasn't lying. It was true.
Yeah, no. And you guys played together for how many years?
Oh, I'm going to say 10 years.
And my good friend, your son, which is my connection here, informed me that Walter passed away recently, and it was a tough loss for you.
He passed away in 2011.
That
Yeah,
long ago.
and that was a big hurt. It was.
Yeah.
He was a great guy, but he had a bad health problem.
Yeah.
But there was never a bass player like him.
Right. Another great Miramichi musician.
Yes, sir.
So like even with me coming in, I thank you guys again. You guys have been listening to me over some conversations since I've been home. You guys have helped me with your ears and your advice and stuff, and I appreciate that. Great Miramichiers. But just by playing that song right there, does it make you feel better just to pick that up and play a song?
Oh yes.
It's
yeah.
a free pill.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
I haven't for the last couple of weeks. I've only played once or twice.
Yeah.
That's one song I'm trying to learn, and I have a
right
hard
on.
time with it. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like an escape.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I do.
And what about? Can you tell us just Can you tell us just a bit more about some of the charity things that you have done and where places on the Miramichi and for what causes and stuff? Like just a little bit of your history on that.
Mostly for individuals who are in need or
Yep.
have some financial problems.
Like little fundraisers,
Yeah.
which Miramichiers,
Some of them turn out to be big fundraisers.
Well, that's not but Miramichiers, there's a very good job done here of people taking care of their people.
Well, most halls in the Miramichi I played Logieville Hall quite a number of times actually.
Yeah.
There was one, I'll tell you about one Sunday, Walter and I had committed to playing. I had committed to playing for a benefit up here at St. Samuel's Church, and it was for the kids that stay down in off the river down there by the Fundy Lime Motel. There's a big.
Oh yeah,
There's a
O'Neill's where O'Neill's
was.
pub used to be. There's a kind of a I know
youth
there's
group.
Yeah, there's a youth place there. Yeah.
So we played. They had the benefit at St. Samuel's, so we played for that.
Yeah.
And then we went to Millerton.
Yeah.
And played for one up there. Donnie Cormier and Ernie Taylor met us up there.
Okay.
And we played for that. And then the 4 of us went down to Logieville at 7 o'clock that night and played for an hour and a half there
Right on.
for a benefit.
Well, what I'll say, Bob, is that I've always only heard great things about you, and everybody always knows you for that, for putting your time in to help others. And so for the Miramichi, I'll thank, on behalf of the Miramichi, I'll give you a big thanks right here, folks.
Well, thank you. And don't get me wrong, we Walter and I played for some paying gigs too at places like the O'Donoghue's when it was and when it first started.
Sure.
Chopper Robinson hired us the first time.
Right on.
Chopper was the manager.
Oh yeah, Chopper. Oh no, sure. But you know, it's important. You know, you're doing it for the love of it. You're a great Miramichier. You got a great voice, and everybody on the.
But it is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I've been playing the last few years with Jimmy Lawler.
Yeah.
And Jimmy and I, we've played the Irish Festival for the last 4 or 5 years, and We have a bass player that comes with us, Eugene Summers.
Oh, right on.
First time I introduced him as Eugene Saunders, I think, or something like that.
Well, I've mentioned those names over the course of this project as I've played a Jimmy Lawler song, and I think he was on he's been playing on some of the songs that I've been played with. So thanks a lot, Bob McCullum, for having me back to your house.
Thanks for including me.
And I want to give a big thanks to Mary Ellen as well. Like again, you guys have helped me out on my over the years here. Great ears. I feel very comfortable to discuss some things with you guys, and I always appreciate it. Have a good day. Well, this special studio is dwindling down. The time is dwindling down. This is what it looks like for episode 49. There's Winnie. Hey, Winnie, come here. What's this? Winnie, come here. As we showed before, Roger has some of his documentation in this room. Those cabinets are all full. And here, this was Roger's late wife, Margie. This was her hair studio where she cut some hair. Roger's got his domain down here. We have had such a wonderful experience. There's some of Amanda, our local sponsor's works right there. We showed some of that. That's Roger's neighbor, Edie. She was featured in an episode with her art. I'm going to speak to her later. That beautiful painting there. But we, so we got newspaper clippings. There's all kinds of things being organized. We've had a great experience. Now, is this phase 1? Is this merely season 1 coming to an end, or is the whole project coming to an end? That's a good question. We got a little fire going today. We'll be showing some stuff. Roger's getting ready. Look at the fine form on this man. Well, you guys all know because you watched him dance a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago. And then Roger's cabinetry in here is where a lot of the stuff has been filed. Now there's a Raj tray made out of sheet metal from the old mill. Roger worked as a tinsmith. And these are very well designed and very well made, and they fit a newspaper without any damage to the corners and whatnot. Magnifying glass. And it's just full of stuff. And old Raj has always been able to collect, have everything, do so many different things as we've been seeing. And this is ours. This is the chairs we sit in, and this is what it looks like when we're looking that way up the stairs there. So we just set the camera actually in a mini Wheats box. There's the tripod. Roger's got a coffee. I have a green tea, and we're getting ready for episode number 49, Raj. So Raj wants to show the year that the Como boys were playing some hockey with the Canadians. I think this is Jacques Plante years, or that's Plante right there. Yeah. Sorry for the glare. Look at the captain of that team right there. That's Roger Como. There's my father, Ronaldo Como. With, Dad had a way of just not smiling in photos. And there's the younger brother, Leon. He was also an assistant captain. So I cut those heads out years ago, put it on that photo, and I gave Roger, Dad, and Leon a copy. And I was actually talking to somebody last night about Leon. She was sharing some stories about her connection with Leon and her family. So, the late Leon and the late Ronnie. And Roger had 3 brothers. There's 2 of them there. And the third one, Dennis, died when he was very young. So, Roger is the last standing. And there's a picture of the North. Sorry for the glare.
North Shore Regiment.
The North Shore Regiment baseball team in England, 1941.
Right there is Percy Langtang.
That's Percy Langtang, Logieviller right there. Really cool photo. And he's the only one not looking at the camera, which is really kind of cool, actually.
There's Goki Vino.
There's Goki Vino, another Logieviller.
And the whole, there's Billy Daly from Cheltenham, the athlete Billy Daly's father.
Oh, that's Billy Daly's father? Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see the resemblance for sure.
Yeah,
Raj, really cool. And all the stuff here. I showed that frame before. Roger made that picture frame out of sheet metal. Really cool. And we're just getting ready to sit down and go through some more newspaper clippings.
When they cut all the elm trees down in Newcastle. You know?
You're off. You're out of the shot here. I just pressed.
Oh yeah.
I just pressed
No,
record.
just saying. Back then, the town of Newcastle was getting a $35,000 grant
Yeah.
to get the local lads to cut these trees down.
Oh yeah.
But then when they really looked the whole situation over, they said, "Oh, we need professionals to do this."
Right.
They're scared that those trees are going to go the wrong way,
Oh yeah.
go through somebody's house there.
Right.
So then they said they didn't accept the grant. They hired a professional firm to come in,
Yeah.
and of course some of the locals were a little upset that
Yeah.
they didn't get the work.
Oh, sure. That's
Yeah.
that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Roger Como checking out tree cutting down operations in Newcastle in the year, what'd you say, 1980?
Yep.
So we are at 1980. This is episode number 49 of Mirami-histor-chi. Roger and I had breakfast this morning at the old Portage. He went scrambled eggs. Did you go whole wheat toast or white?
White.
He went white toast, potatoes, ketchup. He got a juice. I opted for the beans
And
instead
pork,
of juice.
and pork meat.
Oh, he got bologna. He got bologna. I went bacon. I had my eggs over easy. I went whole wheat toast and some beans, and we had a good chat. And we spoke about our project and what we've been doing for the last couple of months. It's been a profound, deep project for both of us.
Short sleeves.
Short sleeves today. We got a fire going. We've had a great project. So the local historian, Roger Como, has collected decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, and I think I'm going one more, and decades of local history, mainly through the local newspaper, the Miramichi Leader, Northumberland News, and the Miramichi Press. But there's special editions, there's pamphlets, there's brochures. It's a great collection. We've been unpacking it now. We got, over 50-something hours of us kind of sitting here going through newspaper clippings. Raj, it's been a great project, and if you want to be a local historian, you need two things. They sound simple, but it's not simple. Consistency and a collection over time, and you can show it. So that's what we've been doing. We're on the Chatham side, the south side of the river, so our information is skewed toward that. It's his personal collection, and he's been doing it for so long, and we've had such a great experience, and we're winding down, Raj.
Okay. So the things I like to talk about or show. So one of them is
Covered bridges.
and because we have heat on here now.
Yes.
That's all about
Fires.
fire.
Covered
okay.
bridge. He likes. There's been a lot of covered bridges. There's been tall ships. He likes horses and like agricultural shows. And then there's a lot of stories on fires. But even before you show that,
Yeah.
before we get into the newspaper clippings,
We're gonna do a poem.
I want to do another poem. Okay, so I got in touch with me friend who's a teacher, grade 6 class. We've already shared some poems. I read. He sent me 3 more, and it's great to share these local poems from some of our local students here, and just to see what's going on in their heads. This is grade 6. There'd be about 12 years old or something like that. And this poem here, oh goodness gracious, I don't even think it has a title. It's I don't think there was a title on it, but it's a poem that's written by a grade 6 student named Tori McLean. And here it is, and it's kind of not, it's not so much a poem, but more of a, it's a write-up. It's in between a little, it's almost poetry, but it's very deep in thinking.
We
And
have
here,
a boy poem.
no, Tori,
Tori's
no,
another
yeah,
girl.
Tori's a female.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a poem from Tori McLean, and it says, when did we start maturing? Was it when we stopped running around playing tag? Or maybe it was when we started using makeup to cover our faces, stopped playing dress up, and stopped going outside and started staying inside to play on our phones. Or maybe it's just because we're growing old, trying to deal with it and trying not to go back in the past as much as possible. But now I'm wondering, what if I was back as a little kid, running around, playing dress up, and having an imagination again. And I'll tell you what, Tori, I really love reading things like that from grade 6 students because I've been having a lot of conversations like that since I've been home. There's definitely something afoul within the way things have been going. We don't see kids outside playing as much anymore without parental supervision. There's a bit of it's very different times. Many people are talking about it, so it's really good that you've recognized that and are commenting on that. So that's really cool. I hope that at one point in the Miramichi I get to run into you. If you ever see this face on the Miramichi, please stop me, say hey Jamie, and tell me who you are, and we'll talk some talk. That was another good insight from a young grade 6 student, eh, Raj?
There you go.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
Are we going to wait for the middle to do our response? Yeah, we'll wait for the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so Raj, where are we starting today?
Well, because we're dealing with heat, we're going to do a fire scene. Now, this fire scene is approximately 1958-59, and it has to do with A&R Logie hay barn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Okay. The spring is right here.
Oh, yeah, that's the Knox Church.
There's a Knox Church
Yep.
there on the
Yep.
FB Hall.
Yep.
And Freddie Kelly back here, just
Okay.
in behind. See, they have sent some guys from Logie's up there to go down and burn the grass.
Oh,
Because because the wind was coming from the east,
yeah.
they were assuming that it would keep the fire going that way.
So it wasn't meant to be, and then they're burning some grass, it caught onto the building.
Yeah, so usually when the wind goes that way, it circulates around the other side of the barn, and it kind of brings the fire back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And your childhood home is...
Yeah.
Your childhood home is right there.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a photo from 1958.
Now, I think the story is that Anna LaBelle
Yeah.
left her house and back, and she walked over this area, and she took the photo.
Oh, wow. So there's a photo from Logieviller, Anna LaBelle. So we think the mother of Din, who's a 3 wood away from here. Peter, Robert, Paula... Who else am I forgetting? Anybody? The very musical family, a great family, the wife of Pascal. She took this photo. So in the background here, this where my finger is, you can see the Knox United Church, and it's very fitting, Raj, that you started with this photo because I was in that church yesterday,
Yeah.
and I got some video of the beautiful woodworking on the ceiling.
Yeah,
So I showed that, and that's Roger's childhood home right there. So he remembers this well. He was at school. He ran down to check it out. I remember I remember you telling me the story that you came from school,
Yeah.
or you had to go tell people or something.
Well, Mrs. Kelly was looking after my class at the time,
Yeah.
and she figured I lived in the area where all this smoke was coming from. So she sent me down there to go and check on the fire, and naturally I stayed there for a while to watch the fire.
Yeah. Well, and now it shows because years later, well, 70, almost 70 years later, he's showing us all these photos of fires on the
So I was the
Miramichi.
only kid there at the time, and they were wondering, what's this? How come he's not in school?
So there's a memory right there, really cool to share something like that.
Okay. So there's even, if anybody's wondering what this bridge here, there's a clue what bridge it was, what bridge it is.
Well, if you're wondering what bridge this is right there, this is from April 12th. Of course you know, but the clue is right in the water there. That's a good photo. It says Chatham Bridge, something floating on an ice floe right there. There's a great shot of our Centennial Bridge from 1980 in April.
You gotta say who took that photo. So it's right there.
Okay, and it says, with the breakup of the ice in the Miramichi River, news photographer Ed O'Reilly captured a sign, Chatham Bridge, floating on a piece of ice with an arrow pointing to the bridge. The photo was taken from the station wharf. Great photo. The Miramichi. I tell you what, Raj, this Miramichi, I've been home for 5 months following the death of my father, your brother. The people here, I've been having all kinds of meetings with people trying to figure out my next direction in life. I live in Vancouver. I've been doing some creative work in Vancouver for many years, and I've been talking to so many people on the Miramichi here. The soul is deep, very, very grounded people. They're listening to me and help steer me, and it's day after day. I keep meeting people that are showing me the capabilities. That's what this project has been about. We are showing the capabilities of the people on this river, which is very high. And to get a David Adams Richards quote in there again, one of his descriptions in a book that I had read since I've been home about the people of the Miramichi, they're proud, conscious of others, fearless in the realms of physical danger, full of humor, and yet somewhat shy. I would say Roger exudes those qualities. I'm still working on them, but I've been seeing it day after day and the people here in the river, and it's been a great experience for me.
Okay, we're going to another bridge.
He loves bridges, even if they're not covered. Okay, Morrison's Cove Bridge finish seen by October. Well, that
should be done by October.
Okay, so they're built.
Probably we have to read that.
Is that the one that's going over that, like,
the mill
by
up
the
there.
mill?
Yeah.
The one that we drive on?
No, that's the new one.
Yeah. Oh, this was an old
This is
bridge?
tore down.
Okay, so up by that mill, what's the name of that mill now? It always changes names. So there's a smoke, the one that the smokestack, you see it from everywhere in the Miramichi.
It's on Wayhauser or whatever.
Yeah, it's near
Morrison Cove.
Yeah, Morrison Cove, which is beautiful hiking. So there's some construction on that bridge in the year 1980.
Well, that's here getting tore down.
Oh, it's getting tore down. I'm confused. This was the old one?
Oh yeah, it was all
Okay.
that riffraff there.
Oh, yeah.
It had an awful sharp turn on it.
Okay. The 39-year-old bridge crossing Morrison's Cove west of Chatham will be replaced by the end of this year. The new bridge should feature a less hazardous approach on the eastern side of the cove, with the existing curves in Route 117 of the bridge approach being reduced by a new alignment of the crossing. Okay, that's pretty cool. And you know what? Any of you Miramichiers that haven't been out on Morrison Cove area for a hike, it's a really, really beautiful area of our city to go for a walk.
So here's the construction site right here.
Yeah.
And that's the existing road for the old that bridge right there.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of straightening it out.
Chatham's there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And over here.
So there's some construction. July 23rd, 1980. Chatham is that way. And there was some turns in there, made it dangerous, and some new construction. So every time you drive over that bridge now, you can just remember that in 1980, that is when...
Now it's like a causeway.
Yeah, now it's causeway-ish.
Yep.
You know, nothing like ruining a good bridge by putting a causeway across it, right?
So there's our first McDonald's in the Miramichi.
Oh, wow. Look at this, 1980 McDonald's. I'm surprised it's not a bunch of cars wrapped around the corner already. Waiting right there. That is 1980. Okay, so McDonald's, well, it says construction of the McDonald's restaurant in Douglastown, adjacent to Northumberland Square, is progressing well, as can be seen in the above photo. With the walls up, workmen last week were putting the finishing touches on the roof. An opening for the well-known eating place, however, is reported to be more than 2 months away. And I would like a Big Mac, McDLT, a quarter pounder with cheese, filet of fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger. Remember that song they had?
Yeah.
Anyway, right on. Mickey D's 1980 construction.
So we want to feature this young lad here.
Yeah.
He's a gifted athlete, but I just want to show how he's got on the front page.
Okay.
And you can fold this back to do just a little bit of reading there.
Okay, so this is from April 23rd, 1980. We have a Chatham named Philip Cady.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was an athlete, but he was an athlete that usually we're not talking about so much. You know, we're kind of a baseball, hockey town.
42 years ago.
This is 4 years ago. This is 80.
Well, 44, yeah.
Yeah. And look, what does this say? He was 6'3", and it says a 6'3" jump for athlete named Philip Cady. He was 14 years old. Philip Cady of Chatham has won more awards than any athlete hopes to in a lifetime. Most recently, the 5'11", 140-pound Chatham student was named the outstanding athlete in the 1980 New Brunswick Indoor Track and Field Championships held in Nashwaaksis over the weekend. Last year, he was chosen outstanding athlete at the provincial track and field meet. And Philip has won recognition in most areas of athletes, including soccer, volleyball, and basketball. Well, right again, that was before my time. I was only 4 years old. I hope that this fine gentleman, Philip Cady, has gone on to a healthy lifestyle to this day. Congratulations. Really, really excellent. We don't hear about too much track and field accolades out of our town here. So it's very, very... it's very good. And Roger cut that out 44 years ago down in this basement as he had kids running around in diapers. He was building his house. He was playing hockey. He was working a full-time job. I don't know how he had time to do this. How did you find time to do all this?
Some of the elderly people watching the program might remember where
Okay.
this building was.
Okay, so where was this building right here? It is, I'll show you the photo first. And Roger just kind of said some of the elderly people watching this program might remember. And it's interesting to know who is actually... Well, I'm getting lots of comments from people, but I've noticed that most of them are kind of in the retirement kind of age, which is great because, you know, these are long and we're just doing it for each other. And I really appreciate the positive comments. Okay, where was this? This is called the Star Bakery.
There's a hint there in the write-up.
Okay, the Star Bakery building in Chatham. I think I know where it is. Apparently dating to the mid-1800s, was demolished this week, so I don't know where it is. I was bullshitting y'all. The building was purchased recently by the Irving interests from David O'Kane. It was located on Water Street near the intersection of Duke. And Ed DePlacey took the photo. Firefighter Bubs?
So the gas tanks across from Ben.
Oh.
So it's just next to that.
That was where that Irving gas station is?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So
that building was just a little bit towards Water Street.
Well, I could see Abby Traer walking around the corner right now, checking out where he was going to set up shop in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, the Star Bakery.
Okay, just hold that page there for a second.
Okay.
So back during the 80s, this was all the ruckus going on in Cushawak.
Oh.
You don't have to do any reading. Once they see 'em.
Is this the whole page?
Yeah.
This is our land. It says the Vautour encampment at Clairefontaine in Kishimoquack National Park.
Well, he's the one that held
Yep.
the ground.
So Kishimoquack's a national park. It is absolutely a beautiful park. And there was one family, and I think they had to buy some people out, is what I'm gathering. This guy here said, no way, Jose. I think he kept to his... I think it's still there, isn't it, or something?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I think he just never, ever... He just held on. Sounds like he's as stubborn as a como.
He's passed away now, eh?
It almost sounds like he's as stubborn as a como. Especially those ones that live out in Napa.
Almost.
Okay, so this is from April 2nd. It says, if they lose their land... Okay, so he's staying. Jackie Vautour with two of his four daughters, Linda and Rachel, in front of his cabin at Clairefontaine in Kishimoquack National Park. The photo at the right shows one of his cabins fortified by logs with a sleeping dog near the door. This guy, I tell you what, if you're a kid and you're in this neighborhood and everybody else is just doing their thing, and your father's the one guy that's pushing against the current, I don't know, it probably wasn't easy for them, but he stuck to his guns. The house is still there. I'd like to know what the real story is on that. And
that was an adjoining page.
Okay.
More stories there.
More stories. It says, a rebel speaks softly and bears arms in struggle. This guy here was he was not giving in. He was not going to give up his place. He wanted to stay there. In a one-room cabin, Jackie Vautour sits in the one-room cabin where he and his family await a government decision on their fate. Vautour said on Tuesday that he expects further discussion in the provincial legislature after he was visited on the weekend by Provincial Fisheries Minister Jean Gauvin, or Jean Gauvin.
So... back in 1980, here's what they were talking about.
Okay. Okay, in 1980, there's a great shot of the Centennial Bridge looking into Chatham. I'll show you the photo first. There she be, right there. Fine folks of the Miramichi. If I come in closer, you can see St. Michael's Basilica. That's a great shot. And what were they talking about? They were talking about Miramichi amalgamation. Opinions are rather strong. Seminar will discuss pros and cons today. And majority of those polled were in favor of a city in 1980. I think it happened in 94, I think it was, or 96, one of those years. Don't quote me.
Yeah, 95, 96,
Yeah.
somewhere right there. So I saved 4 of those pages.
Yeah.
I thought that was big talk then.
Yeah, no, it was. And you know what? I'm not a numbers guy, and I'm not a political guy or anything like that, so it's not my forte. But I'm not for or against something like that. But what I would be for would be kind of a creative project that. There's the phone ringing. Roger Como, he knows how to get rid of people so quick. Watch how quick this is. He will get rid of this person in less than 30 seconds. No, but all I was going to say is that I think it'd be cool to kind of, we still never gave up. Nobody's like saying Miramichi East. We all say Chatham or Logieville or whatever. But it would be kind of cool to keep the history of those little boroughs alive and to kind of have signage that recognizes, the neighborhoods of the Miramichi. That was just one thought I've had about coming back, but I'm not strongly opinionated on that. I'm going to pause here and let Roger deal with whoever he's got to deal with. And we're back. And you know what? That phone call, I'm not going to get into any details at all, but what I will say is that we are so heavy-hearted here in our neighborhood, in our family, in our extended families, and in the whole community. There was a terrible, tragic thing that happened in our community. And we're only hoping that the news continues to be of small little positive gains. And there was an accident. It's so sad, and a little girl, but hopefully our trained medical professionals, they have been doing amazing work, and that was what that phone call was about. We're heavy-hearted, and I'll snip it there. I know that's the most important, but we're doing this project. We're just gonna continue along here with that in our back of our minds and with heavy hearts. So, okay, Raj. So where are we moving on to?
We're going into
right
hockey now.
Yeah.
We're going into Tommy's hockey.
Some Tommy's hockey.
Winning team.
Tommy's win award, 9th time to a Chatham school, April 5th, 1980. Oh, we have Winnie. Oh, we got little Winnie down here. Are we going to have a little Winnie? Oh, no, it's okay. She snuggled up to me. I got her with my right hand, scratching some. Okay, the Tommy's win award. This is the AAA Hockey Champions High School, James M. Hill. They won it the 9th time. Okay, what else does it say here? This season, the Tommies completed one of their most successful seasons, winning the New Brunswick High School Hockey League Championship, compiling a record of 14 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties. Then they marched through the playoff, eliminating Bathurst in 3 straight, Fredericton in 5, and Moncton in 3. Individual scorers, total season. Are these all Chatham guys? Jimmy Summers? Okay, so these are the Tommy's top scorers in 1980. Jim Summers, wow, 78 points in like less than 20 games. Todd Adams, Alan Lewis, are these all Miramichiers? No, this must be the league.
Yeah, it's the league. Wayne Hash.
Okay, Wayne Hashey's a Nelson guy. He had 39 points. Peter Jones was a Chatham guy. George Connolly was a Tommy, 26 points. Jim Barry, Jim Bro, Perry Fry, Steve Code, Jay Moore, George Sproul, and Andre. Maybe it was. Yeah.
You're
78
right.
points. Jim Summers, right on. That's a really cool thing. And speaking of hockey, Raj, the Timberwolves are still going.
Yeah.
I think they won 3
Oh.
out in the Nationals.
Right.
And we're not even really following it. It's just because there's so much going on here. We hope. Big Al told me today at the.
Oh, yeah.
Big Al was our first interview. That was but he told me today. Oh yeah, he's listening to the streams and stuff.
Oh, good.
Okay, so back to the Tommies. Tommies number 1 again. James M. Hill takes Matadors 3 straight. Look at this. I don't know Jim Summers. This guy was a stud player. 78 points in 1980. Wow. Jim Summers of the James M. Hill Tommies had an outstanding season for the Chatham High School hockey team. The Tommies captured the AAA high school finals on Saturday in Moncton before a crowd which included a lively contingent of Miramichiers. Check out the jacket right there. Really cool. Right on. I'd say that's a yellow with the green. Oh, that's an idea. Whoever's designing next year's jackets, go yellow with a little green trim.
Nice
Yeah.
clear photo.
That's a great clear photo. Look at that handsome young guy. What a player. Anybody that scores that many points.
Okay, there's the team.
Okay. Tommy's sweep Moncton. So there's the team. That is the 1980 New Brunswick AAA high school hockey champions, the James M. Hill Tommies. Great tradition. Who was on the squad? We already mentioned some of those names, but we will go Mervyn Fletcher, Andre Hashey, Jim Barry, Wayne Hashey, Jim Summers, Todd Adams, Steve Coe, Jim Basso, Alan Lewis, and Brent Grefford. Bob Connell, manager. Wally Jimmo was the goaltending instructor. Brad McPherson was the student manager. Tim Melanson, Winnie's got to go upstairs. Tim Melanson, David McLaughlin, Jay Moore, Perry Fry, Don Spence, Peter Jones, George Connolly, George Sproul, John Keown, and Greg Morris was the coach. Greg Morris put so much time into coaching, and he was an educator, a principal. He was a baseball hockey guy, knows his stuff, has put so much time into sports teams over the years, deserves a lot of credit, a great Miramichier. Wayne Hashey was on that team. I played softball against Wayne. He was always a really fast runner, an outfielder kind of guy, and he was a left-handed hitter with some speed. Okay, we are going to pause once again. So Winnie is now outside. She'll be barking at whoever walks by. And you know what, Raj? I was just back there looking at some CDs, and you got 2 Charlie Prides here. And this is just a real side note, but when I spoke to Susan Butler the other night, that interview is episode 40-something. Susan was great, but she told me that one year they had Charlie Pride here.
Oh, he's been here probably 3 times.
And she just said he is the greatest guy.
Oh.
He's just a sweetheart. Great guy, and you know, obviously his accolades and his recording, performing career speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this guy. Look at this right here, folks. This is we got 2 Logievillers, a Logieville native, ex-Tommy's captain, Larry McDonald, named Mount Allison Rookie of the Year. There's a great photo of Larry right there. He was always an excellent ball player and a hockey player. And his Boston Bruins hung on last night. They won 2-1. So look at that. Larry McDonald, last year's captain of the James M. Hill Tommies, has been named the Rookie of the Year with the Mount Allison Mounties. The announcement and presentation was made at the university's annual athletic banquet held last year at Jennings Hall. This is the 2nd consecutive year that the North Shore Trophy has been won by a player from New Brunswick's North Shore. Last year, Kevin Forn of Dalhousie. And below that, Center Nappins, Jamie Watling, now the Mount Allison captain. So Jamie and Larry, they kind of had their sporting careers intermingled there through hockey and softball. They played on the 1987 Miramichi Gagnon Packers that won the Canadian Championships in senior hockey. And right on. And I tell you what, Larry is the father of Ryan, we call Rock, and the late Mandy and his wife Mary. They're a great family. And what a nice thing to read out. Okay. 8 newcomers to join the Logieville Dixie. This is like local newspapers back in the day had articles on who was joining a softball team. This is good stuff. This is when like sports writers had cigars hanging out. They were walking around with a, just old school Red Fisher style. This is from April 2nd. Who were the new, this is like 27 players may turn out for like looking for a berth. Like there was tryouts. Now it's like getting 9 to a game. The league I play in, we're just like anybody, Okay, so who, it doesn't say much, but Junior McDonald was the coach. The team is being sponsored by the Chatham Dixie Lee, which will provide a complete set of new uniforms and contribute to the purchase of balls and bats. Dixie Lee uniforms, they had a black, little bit of, there was those little holes in it. Remember those old, there was no buttons or anything. It was like a t-shirt style, a little bit of trim around the arms. It was a black Dixie Lee, and they had the old Dixie Lee, and then they had a great big bucket of chicken before each game, and that's why the Logieville Dixie Lees could not win the New Brunswick title. They were eating too much chicken before the games.
So here's a successful Miramichi year.
Oh, right on, a successful Miramichi year. Stu, St. Thomas University in Fredericton, the valedictorian, aims at a law career. Excuse me. And who is this? This is Jerry Mahoney. Right here, this is, we love, we love showing the great accolades of our Miramichi people. This is no exception. This is 1980, May 13th issue of the Telegraph Journal. Jerry Mahoney of Newcastle has 2 things to celebrate this week. Miss Mahoney turned 22, and atop of that, she was the valedictorian of her graduating class at St. Thomas University. Well, congratulations, Jerry. She's a graduate of MVHS. She said she's eventually chose arts in St. Thomas, where she majored in English and history. She always wanted to be a lawyer, and she applied to law school. And she would eventually like to get into the legal aspects of human rights, and that's really, really, really cool. And I tell you what, congratulations. I hope that you did get into law and did good things with that degree and are continuing to thrive to this day.
I have a classified ad.
A classified ad. Roger had this circled 44 years ago down in his basement when he thought that he had the foresight to know that we'd be doing this project. Okay, it says, notice under Municipal Capital Borrowing Board. This is in the classified. Now, what does this say? Why is this circled several times? It looked like he was really... Okay, it says, notice is hereby given that the Village of Logieville will submit to the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board and an application for authorization to borrow by way of debentures an amount of money not exceeding $2.8 million for a period not exceeding 15 years at a rate of interest not exceeding 1.5% per year over the Chartered Bank's prime lending rate for the purpose of water and sewage treatment. And if you got confused at the wording of that, well, that was written by none other than the great lawyer, Jerry Mahoney. That sounds like some law terminology there that most people don't really can't follow.
Well, back to the
I'm joking, Jerry.
More classified.
More classified. The Pop Shop, Nectar Drinks, also try. Roger Rucamo had this cut out. The old Pop Shop. This is from May 28th, 1980. The artwork on this, I don't know if it's a Bill Hogan. Look at the great artwork on that. All I know is that I am not going to buy a product.
That's got to be Eddie Shack, right?
I don't know. But I'm not going to buy a product from somebody that looks like that. Yep. Also, try our regular selection of pop, all at the same low price. Apple, grape, lemonade, passion punch, and orange. Right on. Yeah, kind of. That is Eddie Shack.
Yeah.
That's a drawing of Eddie Shack, formerly of the Maple Leafs, Pittsburgh Penguins, several other teams.
I know we don't know too many people here, or hey, but this is
okay.
Passed away. Eh?
Colonel lives 6 months in Canada, visited New Brunswick. This is an article that Roger cut out in 1980. Who is this? I'm assuming it's a Miramichi. It's not. The Kentucky Fried Chicken outlet in Newcastle and similar stores throughout the world are expected to close for one day in respect to the late Colonel Harlan Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He died Tuesday morning at the age of 90. His death came in Louisville, Kentucky. Wow, Colonel Sanders died in 1980 at the age of 90. Well, I guess what he was not eating? His own product, if he lived that long.
Okay, I got some highlights here for this article here. Hockey school. Okay,
Chatham Hockey School readies for a third season. This is out of the Moncton Times on May 28th, 1980. And none other than our Miramichi, Jim Malone. And is Pat Daly Miramichi? I think so.
Who was that?
Or New Brunswick.
Yes.
Anyway, there they are. They're doing some hockey instruction. There's Jimmy with the helmet on. Jimmy is an amazing guy. His son, Brad, just retired from his professional career. Played many NHL games, very successful career, a great guy, a great family. And it says the chief instructors for the school are Pat Daly and Mark O'Barron. Daly is a native of Chatham who was taken in the junior draft last summer by the Jets in the NHL and earned a left wing spot on the team in training camp, but he suffered a severe knee injury just before the season. And Greg Malone will miss the local school this summer as he stays in Pittsburgh to continue therapy on his knee injury. But Greg's younger brother Jim, who was only 18 at the time, has been attending and working at the hockey school since he was 12. He'll be at the Chatham school. Wow, really, really great. They've had and then the Malone brothers had a hockey school. They have a rich hockey tradition, and it's lots of NHL games from that family. Jimmy was personally my coach when I was in Adam hockey in grade 6. One of the best years I've ever had in hockey. And Junior McDonald, we've mentioned many times, he was the assistant coach with Jimmy. He happened to be Jimmy's father-in-law. They treated us like kids. They were so good, and we almost won the New Brunswick title. And I had a great year that year. And I remember, who my line mates were, Raj? Mark Barry at center and Shane McGregor on left wing. And we had a great line. We scored some goals.
Well, speaking of Malone, we have an article right here.
Okay, here it is. It was a week Malone won't forget. There's a great picture in this is Moncton Times as well. There's Jimmy Malone, Miramichi. Chatham's Jim Malone stares at the sky during his recent graduation from James M. Hill Memorial High School. Malone was drafted by the New York Rangers in this month's National Hockey League entry draft. Congratulations to Jimmy. Great guy, great Miramichi. Right on. And just on the back, we won't read it, but there's a picture of Chatham Ironman great Cuffy McLaughlin. It's just that the article's cut off, so we won't be able to. Great photo of Cuffy. James M. Hill Memorial High School graduate list, June 21st, 1980. Roger Cummel cut this out, highlighted it in his basement 44 years ago. He was still drinking the same beer, which is an Alpine. Glenda Absalom was Roger's neighbor. She's about, 2 drives away. Like driver. Timmy Boyd. And you know what, Raj? He grew up close here. His mother was Josie. Yeah. And when I got to Fredericton as a student, in the summers I stayed there and worked, and I played softball and pitched on a team with Timmy Boyd on the team, and that's the first time we really met. And we were the pitchers. 2 Logieville boys playing ball on a Fredericton team were the pitchers. Blake Cameron. The late Blake Cameron. Wayne Carter. John Cripps, Bruce Darling, Troy Donahue, Wayne Hashey, we just mentioned him. We play softball against him. Robert Galaya, Tina Jepson, Joan Kelly, Robert LaBelle, Kim Leggett, Jimmy Malone, we just mentioned, and Vicky McDonald, and that's Jimmy's wife. She's the daughter of Junior and the before-mentioned Larry, the Rookie of the Year at Mount A. And other siblings were Kim, Ricky, the late Eddie, and Derek. Who else do we got here? Brenda McKnight. Pete McCormick. I don't know who that is.
Where's that?
Ellen McCathron. Mary Eleanor McCluskey.
Jay.
Oh, Jay McCormick. Oh, sorry, that's Jay.
I shouldn't have touched the Peter.
Lana McLean, the sister of Lyle. This is 1980. James M. Hill, Tom McLean, Barb O'Brien, Gail O'Reilly, Sokolowski, Mike Sokolowski, who went on to. Now, is he the sprint? No, Matthews Matthew was 2 Stanley Cups with Colorado as a trainer, and Michael was the sprinter at the 1984 Summer Games in LA. 4x100. Great athletic family, the Sokolowskis. Connie Upham played lots of softball here. I think she's still driving a bus, perhaps.
I think so.
Connie was great. Mike Weir, not the golfer. Mark Williston and Shirley Wrigley. Right on. And the leadership award went to Tina Jepson, friend of the family. Roger Cummel, cutting stuff out.
Now, this is on the back. And
Okay.
The other side is to deal with...
Okay.
Gordie Howe.
in okay.
Retirement.
Oh, wow.
And his right hand man was his wife.
Absolutely. Okay, James M. Hill, Vicki McDonald, and Todd Adams were athletes of the year. What a great family that McDonald family had. They were such good athletes. There's Vicki. She was so beautiful and sweet. She played softball. Great athlete. Mother of an NHLer. Right on. Okay, so and then on the back of that is the Gordie Howe retired in 1980 after 32 years in pro hockey. And I'll tell you what, Gordie Howe, yeah, he might have got the elbows up on the ice, but when he retired, he was the all-time leading points getter in the NHL. Most goals, most points, most assists.
And the most elbow penalties.
And although, you know, he always defended, he was so strong and big and elbowed, but when you listen to him interviewed, it's just he was the most soft-spoken, gentle. But what he did do, and I've gone back and listened to Gordie Howe interviews some years ago. I've tried to, like, research everything on him because he inspired me. But what he always talked to, he always said we. And he's referring to his wife. They were a team. He said, we, like, you know, when he's talking hockey, we did this, we did that. He said there's no way he could have been, had the career he did without an amazing woman taking care of the home front. So that's a high, you know, we can all learn from something like that. And here's an article about the great, we just mentioned, nobody could beat Vicki. This is some more Vicki McDonald, Athlete of the Year, 1980, Logieviller. She was so beautiful. She is so beautiful. Nobody can do it like McDonald can. Vicki, that is. She pitched, fielded, and batted for the Tommies in their... They won the girls' softball. Right on. They called them the Tammies. And, yeah, so she was a great ball player. I remember her playing some ball in Logieville when I was growing up.
So the paper covered a lot of sports here in
Yep.
Logieville, eh?
Yeah, lots of sports in Logieville. And plus, it's his interest.
Nothing to read here, just to
Okay.
show you how much coverage we got.
Okay. We're just gonna, yeah, this is some more softball, Logieville stuff. I know we've covered a lot of that, but that's what Roger was doing and playing. These are his personal collection. He was putting them on the back of some paper here, you know, cutting out some articles. It's a great thing to go through. So Roger Como, although he's so busy, if any of you people out there, you know, you guys just, if you guys want to stretch him just a little further, will you start knocking on the door and asking him to come down and look at some of this stuff?
You can take the...
We're going to take a time for the sponsor.
Yeah, so I gotta go check on the creature.
So Raj is going upstairs to check on the dog. We're probably getting close to shutting her down anyway. And we're going to do another sponsor spot here. And yesterday I showed our first sponsor, Corey Wishart of Wishworks at the Core Store. He's like a very special craftsperson. He figures everything out. You saw the boat that he just restored. It was so damaged. Look at the beautiful work he did on that. He's making something for me, and hopefully I get to show it before I go back to Vancouver. And then our other sponsor is Roger's daughter, the wonderful Amanda Como. She has a fine arts degree from Mount Allison University. I'm not joking. Her house is spectacular inside. What she has done inside that house, it's like a modern look, restored. It's a 120-something-year-old home. She collects antiques. Every piece in the house is thought about, from every picture frame, etc. It's beautifully done. And there's one of Amanda's drawings right there. It's all done with pencil. She's able to capture facial expressions very wonderfully. And she works as a nurse at the hospital, but you know, she's an artist through and through. There's another beautiful drawing that Amanda did years ago. And you know what? If you're on the river here and you're looking to, get a special gift for somebody, why not get in touch with a local artist like Amanda or Corey? And they're so easy to work with. They can take your direction and kind of listen to what you want. They can capture that essence. And Amanda, she's already got a commission from this show, actually. And she's easy to work with. It'll be a special gift. And if you're wondering how somebody like Amanda Como sponsors a show such as this, well, she does it by being the best daughter that a man could ever have. And she is so creative. There's a picture that she drew and painted of her dad, Raj, who's just put Winnie back in the house here. So Amanda, and if you're looking at how to get in touch with Amanda, it's very simple. You just go to the phone book.
look up this man's phone number, and he does all the secretarial work.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get in touch with her. So how we doing, Raj? If we got...
I've just got a few articles on this,
Okay.
this month there. There's a Jackie Walsh
Okay.
action photo there.
Okay, because I think we're going to kind of speed through to make sure that we can get through. Okay, the Dixie Lees and the Schooners share first place. This is more softball. Jackie Walsh of the Nelson Seniors round second against Bathurst Sportsman League. So there's Jackie Walsh on base, 1980, playing some softball. The heyday of softball. I wish that it was still like that. I'm able to play in a league in Vancouver that we still have healthy enough, but it's not the same.
I'm going to feature Kevin here from that.
Okay. Kevin Knappen, Chatham Head, neck and neck in the MV, the Miramichi Valley Baseball League, which was also really, really well covered and excellent. There's a guy right there named Kevin Russell. He was the Knappen Braves, and he played last night in Knappen to decide first base. It must have been really cool. Just going out, you know, the country, all the country boys in Knappen, all their farms, and the community would come alive out there at the old ballpark. The Knappen Braves kept pace with the Tigers, defeating Red Bank Warriors 19-5. Kevin Russell paced the Braves with 2 home runs and a single in the 3rd inning, and Russell blasted the first 4-sacker with bags loaded. Oh, wow. And a solo blast. He was their stud, obviously. Frankie Carroll. He's a friend of the family, and he had a double and a single. So there it is, folks. There is a great photo of Kevin Russell of Knappen. And the Knappen Braves, and don't get me wrong, I know it's easier to rip something down than it is to build it. I'm not criticizing. But Knappen, such this rich history of agriculture and farming and all that. And the name they chose is the Braves. Like, they could have called it, like, the Knappen Stallions or something. Okay, so, here's a great photo from Roger's neighbor, about 5 or 6 houses that way. And if Roger got his driver out and gave you his best drive, he would probably get really close, and then he would have to probably get maybe a 5-iron to get to this guy's house, just to touch his yard. Jimmy Kelly, no hits, Bathurst, 8-0, 1980. Jimmy Kelly, the right-hander, threw 7 innings of pure heat to pick up his first no-hitter of the season. He also struck out 7 batters while giving up no walks. So there might have been an error, and it would have been close to a... So what happened on that Dixie Lees? Well, I'll tell you what. The big hitters were Ron Como, my dad, Henry LaBelle, Dale McDougall, and Jimmy Kelly each had a double and a single. Larry McDonald, Jamie Watling, and Brad Cameron each had a pair of singles, and Roger Como picked up a double, the local historian. So right on, Jimmy Kelly throws a no-hitter in May 28th, 1980. Okay, what do we got here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great story. Roger's setting this up for me, I'm assuming. So this is June 25th, 1980, the Miramichi Valley Senior Softball League. It says Como stars in 3 wins. That's my father, I think Roger was underlining. We come from a softball family. And yes, all of you people out there that know of the Como boys, yeah, they were fiery on the field. They just couldn't help it. It just came out of them. But I'll tell you what, they always felt bad about that a little bit afterwards. The greatest family in the world. They're great. Okay, so on Sunday, Como belted a home run and a single in a 7-1 triumph. This is my father. He was the player of the week. Second baseman Ron Como ran their season's record to 10-0 with 3 victories. So on Sunday, he belted a home run and a single. Then in the evening game, he scored the winning run in the top of the 9th. He had gotten earlier on a single. He got on earlier with a single and a triple. On Thursday, he had a bases loaded double in the 6-run 3rd inning. And right on, there's a proud moment. I remember, I think Dad has the same cutout. So Ronald Como, did he get ejected from a few games in his life? He sure did. I remember him one time on his step, which was still in sight of the ball field, still yelling, taking off his body. They were fiery. And I was a little fiery when I pitched, but I did change that in my life and I keep it calm and all that stuff.
Well, the late
Right on.
The late Robert Stewart there was a
Oh, yeah.
umpire.
Okay. Bam Bam beats it out. Cameron's two-hitter gives Dixie Lee's another Logieville victory. This is June 11th, 1980. Umpire Robert Stewart calls Kevin Bam Bam Logie safe at first, while first baseman Walsh thinks otherwise. So just another action shot of some Logieville softball right there. Bam Bam, Kevin Sobey on the base path there. So Raj, what are you thinking how much do you got left here for tomorrow?
Yeah, just the rest of it.
So maybe we just,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Want to shut her down now?
Well,
Let's
let's
do
do a
it.
couple, let's just finish off a little bit
We're
more.
doing Wayne Hashey here.
Okay, Nelson's a Wayne Hashey Player of the Week in 1980. Roger does have a lot of softball stuff in here. Jimmy Kelly was the top pitcher after 6 weeks in 1980. Logieville was definitely the class of the league at 17-2. But there's old Wayne Hashey. I think his son turned into a goaltender, played hockey alongside my nephew Lucky. What else do we got here?
Baseball Miramichi, Clary Hale.
Okay.
Gary Volter was a big hitter for the week.
Here's some Miramichi Valley Baseball League. There's some old players from 1980. Gary Votour, Jamie Summers, and Clary Hale. And there is Gary Votour. There's Jamie Summers right there on this side. And there's Clary Hale at bat. That's a great photo. Who were the batting averages at this time? Gary Votour in first place, Paul Daly, Bruce Hanna, Jerry Hackett, Jim Hackett, Tom Hanna. Frankie Carroll was hitting .310. I don't know how to say that name. Ron Chastaveus or something?
Chastaveus.
Yeah. Bill White, and then they start getting under 300. So the last guy that was hitting 300 was Ron. And the Chatham Head Tigers, that was the Napan Braves. Clary Hale was in the Gary Dunnett. Yeah, and the Siliker Chase Siding, Jamie Summers. And Roger Como was putting all this together, being a little historian.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll call
We're
that
just
it.
going to call that an episode, Raj. I think I got a few things. I'm going to go get another guy. I'm not going to say anything now, but I don't know what's going to be at the beginning of this video. I'm going to try to get a live performance again. It might be a repeat performer, but that's okay because everybody loves this guy. And I got to go do a few things, Raj. And it's 11:30 right now, and you're on dog duty. And what do you got going on today?
I got a lot of duties.
You got a lot of duties today?
Yeah.
Dog duty, gas duty,
cemetery,
Rogers, the leader at the cemetery down there.
Let's just put a little note in there that the cemetery had spread a lot of topsoil over the graves that we left off.
Yeah.
And anybody that wants grass over their family's plots, they have to go down with a handful of grass seed.
Yep. And then like the cemetery that we have down there. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a practicing Catholic. That's what I grew up in. It was a cultural thing for me, but it's no longer about that. The church in Logieville, the Catholic, it no longer exists. But the graveyard down there, it can be very separated. We could separate the church aspect of that. So it's about the resting place of our family members, our ancestry, and it deserves to be kept up. And it's not that hard to do. So we had lots of helpers this year, and you know what, Raj, if I'm on the old Miramichi next year, I'll be giving you more of a hand to try to gather more people. And it's our resting place of our ancestries, and it deserves to be maintained.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, we did. This is the busiest year that we had for doing projects at the cemetery.
Yeah.
Probably over 3 weeks there.
Yeah.
So people coming in and raking out and leveling off and rolling and spreading topsoil. And local eds supplying their tractors to help along.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. And we mentioned before, like I've talked about free pills, throughout this program. And we're, at least this is an organic happening. But volunteering, it's said that those that do volunteer their time for the right purposes, are healthy. So volunteering's a free pill. Exercise is a free pill. Getting outside. in nature is a free pill. These are things that we can do. They cost no money. They're the difficult things to do, but they're the most important.
Well, we had to push hard there in the last few weeks to get this here done before the flies, and the flies were bad yesterday. So thankfully, we got ahead of the flies.
Okay, so we got ahead of the flies. Roger Como doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tough of a Miramichi you are and how long you've been around. Those freaking flies will get you every time. We got to get rolling. Tomorrow is going to be our 50th episode. It's going to be the ending, kind of the end of the project between us being down here. We're going to cut her off at 50. It could be season 1, or it could be the end of project altogether. Who knows? There's no promises here. There will be a couple of bonus episodes, of course, that'll be different in style. Not of course, but hopefully. And tomorrow we're going to have to show your final trophy. We already showed your hockey pool trophy, your baseball pool trophy, and tomorrow there will be another Roger Como sculptural trophy coming. So there you have it. Take it easy.